Hey guys, Lancy here. Hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for joining me while we look into some more MTG stocks. And yes, this is a re-recording because the last video I put up did not have any audio, and I was trying to figure out why, but it mostly looks like there's a connection issue between my cable and the computer. Um, Anyways, let's get to it. So I've changed up the format a bit. It's going to probably break it up into two videos, but I really wanted to check out the rest of the marketplace and just see if there's any good deals, at least as far as lands go. And we'll look into what I mean by that in a little bit. So moving on, Gabriel Angelfire from Legends, not on the reserve list, but sitting at a average of 57, market of 65, but obviously that's a good quality one. On TCG Player, it's saying that you can get them for $25. Card Kingdom, $33. So we'll have to see exactly what you're going to get out of this kind of card. It is not on the reserve list. It is from Legends, so there is value there. It's not exactly the best card either. It doesn't get you to play in too many different colors. It is a green white angel, which is cool, I guess. But what you're really getting from this kind of card is just how old it is. A near mint will set you back $68, $74 right now, when probably about a couple of months ago, 10 months ago, it would have probably cost you around about $12 to get this card. So it doesn't feel like it's a good deal, but it's up to you guys to decide on those kinds of things. Anyways, I personally think that there are better reserve list cards that may be in higher supply, but just have the reserve list on them. Title against them, which I think is a better pickup in the longer term, especially if they're good quality. But up to you. Strip Mine from No Horizons Antiquities, great card. Obviously going to be played in a lot of different formats. Because of that, it is an expensive card. The 4th edition will set you back $15, but this is a good white bordered card. There is a few different versions of them, obviously. Overall, it's a good card. Zendikar Rising Expeditions has it for $22 in a pretty good quality. If you can get it at that, then maybe that's okay. Some of these prices are starting to average out to some of the expeditions. So we'll have to see which one of them maintains the price, I guess. Fish liver oil from Arabian Night. Now, this is the kind of stuff that I'm always worried about, because here's the thing. Fish liver oil, totally not a special card. There's nothing special about this card. It's actually really bad. You wouldn't want it in your command deck unless you're playing some kind of weird, funny, gimmicky deck. But it's sitting at $13, and you can get it on TCG Player for $10.99. It's not on the reserve list. It has plenty of printings. Sure, this is the only one, kind of the only one that has black border, but there's nothing really crazy about that either. Moving on. Okiba Gang from Shinobi. Now, Okiga Gang Shinobi from Planechase Anthology. Now, I actually looked at the Betrayers of Kamigawa one. That's not very much of a price difference. In fact, the Planechase 2012 seems to have a higher price. That's a bit weird, because Kamigawa is now over... Is it 20 years old? Betrayers of Kamigawa. I'll just have a quick check. I didn't get into Magic until like 2005 or something, but still, it's an old card, and the price for this is expensive, $14. It's being played in a few decks, and for a common, that's pretty expensive, I guess. But really, no uptick overall. Plenty of reprintings. This is the kind of stuff that you can always be worried about when it comes to reserve list, not on the reserve list. Moving on, we have got... moving on to the dual lands, because literally everything else was the new set. Badlands from Revised Edition, slowly ticking down. Now, I actually opened up some of these just to have a quick check. Bayou moving up. So Bayou, you can get a moderately played for $459.95. That's actually kind of expensive. That is the cheapest. The near mint actually is quite reasonable for $560. Because a near mint, maybe you can get that graded. Doesn't always have to mean that, but it can. And a near mint for $560 is still a bit cheaper than the $628. That's the next one, but I am seeing a few more near mints. This is still 7 listings, so there is not many that are just sitting around. So worst case scenario, they're going to sell at the same price that you buy them, or a bit more in the next couple of weeks. I will talk about the markets. What I'm noticing is that the dollar is gaining value, but a lot of people are just expecting the dollar overall to lose value in the next 5-10 years, which I think Rudy's 7% inflation, 7% gains on whatever item he has sitting around from the previous years is probably accurate in most cases. It's just people don't normally think about it that way. It just means that there's a chance the dollar is getting devalued, which means people just bump up the prices so they can pay for the stuff that they normally would have 10 years ago, but now it just costs twice the price. So the box costing twice might be good in 10 years, but really you're just keeping up with inflation at that point, or just doing a slightly better than inflation. Inflation really hurts savings, and it sucks for people that are saving. Savannah Revised Edition, $300 on TCG, probably accurate. I will say, when it comes to these kinds of things, you got the Alpha Edition, you got the Beta sitting at 2,000, Unlimited 965. It is very hard to predict what's going to happen to the market. A lot of these look like they're topping out, but the only reason I can think about that is because there's a lot of complaints coming from most of the world's population, including half the government in the US, where they're just thinking that we're printing too much money and making it a bit too easy for the dollar to get devalued. So we'll have to see what comes out of that in the next couple of weeks and months. And it's going to be a busy Christmas holiday. So if you've got any booking to do, you should probably do it now. If you've got any things that you want to buy, probably just get it over and done with now. Put the orders in. They might not even make it for Christmas if you're not careful. Underground Sea from Revised Edition, still flatlining at about a, what is that, 948. TCG player probably has a moderately played from 665. That's still pretty expensive overall from what it was a couple of months ago. Tiger flatlining as well. It's been a really tough way to predict it. Moderately played still sitting at 350. Too bad. That is, I still remember the near mints or moderately played that was sitting at like 270 like a couple of weeks ago. Should have picked those up. Anyways, moving on, Godzilla series. Now, I didn't want to go through all of the Godzilla ones. I just wanted to pick one of them, and that's the Space Godzilla. Now, we all know what happened with this. I'm pretty sure Rudy made a couple of videos saying don't buy into the hype. And it turns out to be accurate. It is right now sitting at 450 for average market of 331, but TCG Player has a couple on them for $1.75. The near mint is, well, it says $1.75. The lightly played 325 is probably what you're going to get it for. I'm actually thinking that, well, 325 might be a bit on the expensive side for an uncommon that you may or may not play, and it's not even a legendary creature. It's still something that's kind of cool because of the fact that it does have some history to it. I don't know if 325 is a good place to pick up one, but you know, that's just something I was thinking. Another one was obviously the fetch lands. Now, I've opened up all of the ones that have been reprinted in Modern Horizons 2, and I actually think that right now might be a good time to pick up some of these. You got Arid Mesa sitting at 1549, which is a near mint for 1849, which is insane. Now, I only have one of these, but I didn't buy them now. And I could have bought all four of them for the price I paid for that one. And I would not be the only one that did that. If you're going to get these cards for Commander, etc., now is probably a good time to stock up on them. Don't go crazy because I haven't done it yet, but I'm just saying that, you know, maybe 2 or 3 or 4, however many you need. It's because 1849 for a fetch land, unless they go back up to like $60, Wizards of the Coast probably doesn't have them on the radar for the next however long until they get up to that price again. And when they get up to that price, Wizards will probably reprint them in the same kind of quantity, and they'll drop back down to $18, $20, and then rinse and repeat. So, you know, it depends on how you want to do this, but I feel like $18.49 is not a bad price to jump into some of these. $20, $15 for TCG for Marsh Flat. Some of these are more expensive. You got Misty Rainforest at $23, obviously. Scalding Tarn, the most expensive one, at $28 and $32. That's kind of expensive. That's actually about a third of the price that I remember it was sitting at for a while. Verdant Catacombs sitting at $20. Pretty good. I love the art. So, good cards. And moving on to Pioneer from MTG Goldfish. I'm going to go straight to the weekly because I haven't done this in a while. Thing of the Ice moving up by 10%. Really, it's been a really quiet Pioneer week. None of the gains outside of Thing in the Ice really set for anything more than 5%. Look at that. Nothing over 5%. When was the last time that happened? And top losers, nothing over 10%. So very stable, very flatlining, nothing crazy on the downside, nothing crazy on the upside. Modern, slightly different. You got Mystic Gate moving up by 38%. Quest of the Ula's Template moving up by 60%. And Olivia Voldaren moving up by 12%. Of course, why not? She is in the new set. Her card is pretty decent in the new set, but I personally think that the old one is actually better for Commander. So overall, yeah, I can see why she would stabilize at a probably about $15 to $20 in the next couple of weeks until things quieten down. Big losers, Liliana the Veil. Now, this is what I want to keep an eye on. I actually think she's going to drop all the way back to 65 before picking back up again because just not in favor. Like, it's just not doing too well. You can see that the first peak was $128, second peak was $110. I think I made a video saying to get these probably around about, what is it, end of February? Like probably just before it peaked, actually. I'm not saying I called the bottom, but I'm just saying that there was a video that I made for Modern, and then a lot of people watched it, and then this happened, and then it spiked 3 times. So there was 3 opportunities to make some profit on this, but the last couple of weeks have just been hitting people in the face. Look at this. From 104 all the way down to 76, I have a feeling it's probably going to touch around about 65, and then flatline for a little bit until things start picking up in Jund, I guess, because that's pretty much the biggest place that she's played in. You guys can let me know what you think is the main reason for the fall. Maybe they were suspecting that she might be in the new Innistrad set, but as far as I've heard, nothing. She might be a box topper in the new set, but again, nothing I've heard. Legacy, nothing too crazy. Some big moves, City of Brass moving up by 259%, but these are some low, small markets. Impossible to know if that's actually true or not. Some bigger drops for Tropical Island. You got Unlimited Tropical Island dropping down by 27%. Doppelganger dropping down by 23% from Unlimited. Yeah, you got a couple of other Unlimited cards just dropping down by a decent amount, really. But the gains are also decent on the other side for Arabian Nights and Unlimited and Reserve List. So, hard to tell. I mean, look at Angus McKenzie. Look at that guy running away with it. 14% gain to now sit at $535. Crazy. As for the vintage marketplace, now this is really hard to predict. You're not going to be able to get much out of this kind of thing because the movement most of the time is private people buying and selling between each other. It rarely ever comes out onto like eBay and stuff like that. Like, who would trust that? So you got Chaos Orb, big drop, 26%, but now still sitting at $7,750. Crazy stuff. Like some of these cards you could easily put in like a car or something, but yeah, depends on what people have their money for. Now, a lot of people bought into these when they were much younger and just kept them in good condition, so good for them. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I am probably going to make another video for the spoilers. It's been a long time since I caught up with this. I know that I missed the Innistrad set. I'll probably talk about it overall, but it's just a lot has been coming out, which is kind of like a good way to get burnt out. I feel like a lot of people are getting burnt out as well, and we'll have to see how that goes. Anyways, thanks for watching, and have a good one. See ya.